Just leaving Mountain Home B&B. It worked out so that I was able to go in a day early and not have to zero, which is fantastic. I can't say that I enjoyed my stay there. It's a personal experience. Everybody is looking for something different, and it just didn't meet my needs. My needs when I go into town or to a hostel are to upload videos and get stuff done and contact my kids. And I did not have cell service, and the Wi-Fi was unusable. I did not get anything done, and that is really hard for me. And I know my experience was tainted based on my expectations and desires, wants and needs and all of that. I'm now 10 days behind in uploading videos, and they take like 30 to 45 minutes to upload, even with good Wi-Fi. And so, yeah, it's like 10 hours. My next available opportunity for Wi-Fi will be Waynesboro, and I don't even know how good that'll be. So then I'll be 13 days or so behind, maybe even 14. So it leaves me anxious. And the hosts, the day that I arrive, were distracted and maybe not their best selves. So that didn't help. And the accommodations were not all that great. There was one bathroom for 18 people, I think. Yeah. So if you are planning a through hike, I highly recommend when you get to Front Royal to use the free trolley. Come in on a weekday because the free trolley runs every 2 hours. Go to base camp, which is a free hiker resource for showers and laundry, and the outfitter is right there, and do it that way. I would not recommend making a stop at Mountain House. I'm feeling myself stuck in this negativity, but I think this is where I would have had to camp last night had I not been able to stay at the B&B. And so I'm actually grateful. I'm grateful that I'm not a day behind, that the hikers that were staying yesterday were really awesome to talk to, and it seems like I'll be around them for the next couple of days, which was great. There's a lot of good. The homemade breakfast was a nice touch. It is a B&B, so everything was a little more, I don't know, like when you brought your pack in, it had to be put in a garbage bag, and there were certain rules about keeping the house clean and stuff like that. So if that's your thing, then there was a lot of things to be positive about. The coffee was good. Dark roast coffee was good. And yeah, this morning the hosts were friendlier than yesterday, and that was nice as well. And I'm back on trail for, I think, 16 miles today. We'll see how I feel. I think my knee is doing well so far. My feet are a little sore, but I did use a cork ball last night to roll them out for the first time in a while. So that could have something to do with their tenderness. Still a cool morning, and that's great. Another nice thing about the B&B is that it was walkable right off trail, and so that makes everything easier. And a couple of the hikers were going into the outfitter, and so I didn't even have to go. They picked up a fuel canister for me, so that was the only thing that I needed. I had my resupply box, carrying a lot of food and it's heavy, and I don't need it all, but yeah, I'm gonna carry it anyway and then just let it extend me through Harper's Ferry into the next town. I'll supplement a little bit when I get there. I've been finding myself in this continued headspace of negativity, and so candy, that'll make me feel better, even though it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and podcast or something to lighten my spirits. I mean, I have all these different tools that I can use, and right now I need them because I keep playing this scenario in my head over and over again, and there's no need for that. And practicing yoga and other mindfulness tools and mind-body therapies, I have been able to train my awareness so that I can often just turn my attention towards something else. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And I think that it's important to give myself some grace and let myself be distracted in a world where we're fighting this, constant distraction and inability to focus that may seem counterproductive. But there's no reason to stay in this state of negativity when I have ways out. And sometimes I can do that by myself, self-resourcing. And other times I need to look to external resources, like people, or even tools, like books and podcasts, at least for me. And oftentimes, one external resource I use is exercise. And I'm doing that too, as I climb. I'm so excited. My first berries on trail. The berries were a bit sour, but delicious anyway. It's just nice to have a treat. Today has been, so far, a big, huge climb and then a big, huge descent. And over the next 10 miles, I have some ups and downs. The miles are going by quickly this morning, but it's starting to get warm. I'm really grateful that the trail has been shaded for most of my journey today. Thank you to shade. I think there's another water source ahead. I'm gonna wait for that, but check before I pass this up. Well, that was unexpected. A nice afternoon downpour. Wasn't in the forecast, at least not the one that I saw. And now the sun is out, the birds are chirping, and it'll probably get nice and steamy. Just stopped at the shelter for some lunch, and I have 6 miles to the campsite that I was planning on. Let's hope I stay dry. I really wish I had had the ability to record what happened when I came down to the shelter. It was full of probably 12 people, group of 12, and they were spread out everywhere, and they were playing music, like old music that was popular when I was a kid, music. And they were playing it on a speaker. It was so loud. And I don't know, it came in, tried to get into the shelter, or at least under cover, but they weren't moving. And then they were in awe of my bear can and the food, and it was quite the experience. Quite a a river crossing here. Big rocks for a long way. I'm about 1.5 miles from my camp spot, so almost done for the day, and the sun is still high in the sky. Hopefully when I get to camp there'll be a spot where I can do some yoga and dry out my feet. They're still soaked. I'm excited. I'm seeing the May apples. They're not ripe yet, but maybe they will be soon. So I'm following the camping sign, but it's an open meadow. I really hope there are trees here. I'm counting on trees to be up here. Fingers crossed. Stumbled across this bench in the state park, and it's in memory of Helen. I can't pronounce her last name. Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. I like that Emerson quote. But there's a box. It says welcome to Helen's bench, and it's got, you know, a sign-in sheet and a book and some other things, which I just think that's really cool. Look, there's a scan code, and reminds me of geocaching. I don't know if you've done any geocaching, but when the kids were little, it was like a treasure hunt. I think that there is value to us participating in wilderness in that way, and I don't know, pretty cool. I have turned off my podcast for a moment just to share that with you, but it's been keeping me company most of the day. I came to the campsite, I think I showed you, and there was no trees, and so I'm walking, and I might be hitting 20 miles today just because I'm in a state park. You're not allowed to camp in state parks. There's really no trees to camp anyway here, and so I'm kind of stuck. But there's a road crossing that changes the line, and maybe I could camp there. We'll see, but it's been a long day, so I am ready to be done. Okay, this calls for an exception. I've hiked over 20 miles today, and I'm still not done. And I stumble across a cooler full of soda. I'm having one. Trail magic. Today has been hard. First I was fine, and then I got rained on, poured on, and then hot and sweaty, and then no trees at the campsite, and then I had to walk another, I think, 3 miles to get out of the state forest and cross a busy highway. Oh my goodness, my sweat is dripping into my eyeballs, and I'm looking ahead and just praying for trees. I want to be done. It's almost 6. It's been a long day. It's been a lot of miles. I want to be done, but this is really good. What do you know? I think this could work. Boy, would that be nice. I have to pace out the trees, but I could even do big tree to this tree. We'll see. Let's set up. All right. I'm really excited about this campsite. This is nice. I have the sun, and so far no major bugs, and time for dinner. I don't know if I'll drop my tarp tonight. I don't think it's supposed to rain, so it might be nice just to have an open hammock tonight.